Hey, morning. Welcome to Tuesday. It's pretty chilly in Johannesburg. I think we're down to like a 14, which is 14, 24 is about 50s, which for us is very cold, right? Yeah, good training session this morning. And I was listening to a podcast, which got me thinking. And it has to do, I think, with mental health as far as maybe you can relate to this. If you were aware of your mental health state, your headspace, emotions, if you will, and if you're aware of it, you can often feel when you slide, when you, okay, I'm going downhill, here I am, at that point, right, where you know it's coming and you almost know you can't do anything about it. Sometimes it's situational, sometimes it's overthinking, sometimes it just starts happening. And the podcast I was listening to, the guy was talking about SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, basically an antidepressant, and how he is still taking that, right, in order to manage that cliff, if you will, to go from everything's cool and then suddenly you're just like, here we go, right, because it just happens like that. And they were talking about studies and research and stuff and how it's almost want to say common knowledge, but how exercise is way more effective than any of the strongest antidepressants. And they gave numbers and stats. I'm not going to recall those now. But I believe that 100%. Like, I know what it feels like to be down, not want to train, and then you go hit the gym. This morning I hit the gym fucking hard and it felt good. It's been a good few days training since I've been back. But that then just, you start feeling the cliffs, I'm going to slide mentally. You train and it just pushes it further away. And the idea of being aware of it and knowing how to manage it, that's the important thing. Because if you're not aware of it and you just think that you're just going to keep going through the day, oh, now I'm bad, now I'm good, that's very hard to manage. And the reality is that you can't at any point in time, suddenly when you feel yourself sliding, just drop and do 200 push-ups and squats and so on and so forth. The reason I like to train first thing in the morning as hard as I can is because, number one, it's a great way to start the day. There's benefits, blah, blah, blah. You know all the benefits. But if I go really hard, I know there's very few things in the day that is going to be more difficult than what I did. I chose to be uncomfortable in order to make the rest of the day more manageable. During the beginning of COVID and just kind of coming out of it that time, I was on a pretty strong SSRI as well. And I know what it did. It made the difference between the highs and the sliding lows. It minimized that. So it kind of did this a little bit instead of the big drop-offs. And what this guy was saying in his podcast as well was he is training and he's doing all these things, all these protocols to feel better and manage it, but he's still taking SSRIs because he's too scared of that drop. And I get that. It's interesting to hear people talk about it like that, and then suddenly you're like, oh shit, yeah, I get it. And I think oh God, I can take this in so many places. The big thing is if you're aware what it feels like to be happy, and you're aware when that slide happens down into the darker areas, depression, and you go down there, that's hard. And if you need SSRIs and stuff like that to manage it, then it does make it, you might go from 10 to minus 10 normally, but with SSRIs, you might go, I'm speaking for myself here, this is me. I might have gone from +2 to -2. So my life experiences was net movement of 4, where it was initially, for example, 20. But again, I'm not going all the way up. I'm not getting those highs. And that to me is where exercise comes in, because I can manage it. I can push it out. I've said this before. Exercise for me it's always been a part of me, lifestyle that I've done. But it's always been a part of who I am and what it was a career in the past. But now it's more about headspace than actually looking good or anything like that. It's real. So yeah, it's a very interesting one to me, just kind of hearing people talk about it, and it hits nerves and you're like, ugh. But I'm sure, and if you want a message, go for it. Happy to have conversations with you. But I'm sure many of you will know what it feels like to be going through your day and everything's pretty cool, and then you feel that slide coming. You feel that what is it? That cloud of negative and low emotions and dark emotions and depression coming on. You know it's coming. You feel it coming. And I think, yes, SSRIs, things like that, one way to do it. But I also think if you look at protocols all around, like if you're aware of it, that it's going to happen, you can. There are physical exercises as far as breathing goes. There's mental exercises that you can do to minimize the drop so you don't go from +10 to -10. And you only might go to -2 or 3. But you're not buffering the top. You're not losing that top end of joy and happiness and inspiration and all those things. Anyway, just some thoughts. I think I'm probably speaking more to myself here, just kind of processing a few things from the podcast that I listened to. In other news, I have just uploaded a new episode of the podcast onto my podcast, new episode there. The idea is what I want to do is every morning I'm going to just post a small one, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes max. Just short, little, to the point, some food for thought, hopefully some inspiration, hopefully some motivation, something to get you through the day, give you a good start to the day. But I'm going to try and do those every morning, between 3 and 4 minutes, 5 maybe. And again, it's not only, I'm also doing this for me. It's almost like self-talk, just putting it out there. Anyway, feeling really good because I had a monster session this morning. But I'm going to go. I have work to do, planning a lot of travel today, working on all those things. So earphones on, and here we go. Have a good one, guys. If you'd like to chat, if you want to share experiences, feel free to drop me a DM, drop me an email. But yeah, interesting food for thought. I'm going to go. Have a good day. Don't forget to be awesome. Bye.